principal at South High School, and we just finished with the Memphis Project, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about the project and where it began and how it ended. So in the spring of last year, Megan Patrick, who is the education coordinator of Hanover Theatre, had just returned from an educators conference in New York. And at the conference, she shared with me that they talked about a project that they did with the school in New York. The whole school did the project, and it was about the show Memphis. And she asked would you be interested in doing it with the whole school. So we have 1,300 students attending South High School, and I thought this is going to be an awesome thing to try. Let's see how it goes. As principal of a high school, you know, one of the things you think about is an activity that I'm doing going to disrupt what's going on academically in a high school? Because without the pressure of testing and MCAS and, you know, trying to get students to achieve, you stop and think, you know, how is this going to fit in so that, number one, teachers will buy into it, students will learn the curriculum they're supposed to learn, and that you're able to successfully accomplish the objectives of your project.
A lot of them, by learning about Memphis in their classes, it really helps spark them to write their long compositions and different writing assignments that they would use for the MCAS.
In my physics class, we did sound waves to relate how the actors project their voice to relate to Memphis.
In English, we wrote MLK poems to learn about the time setting of Memphis. And in history, we looked at pictures that showed segregation in everyday life.
The Memphis Project not only helped us to learn our curriculum better, it really created at South High a climate of cooperation and collaboration among teachers and students.
It took us about a week or a week and a half to learn the choreography of the Memphis dance so we could perform it with the Memphis cast.
At first we said, oh, maybe we'll get a couple hundred kids. We got, 90% of the students to come to the show, which getting 90% of our students to do anything is a tough thing to do in a school. We also got 90% of the teachers to come, which also was amazing to show that connection between the teachers and the students and the school and the whole project. So it was in that respect very successful.
People from the community that came to see the show, they were amazed at how a theater and a school can work together so closely and bring students to a theater to see a Broadway show where the students were so well prepared and had done so much prior work to it that it made such a difference for them knowing that theater was really reaching out to a school and to the community to expand everyone's knowledge of how wonderful it is for every student to have that theater experience.
The energy was absolutely amazing. The students that were running down the aisles to be part of the dancers were just all smiles and just had so much energy that you could feel it bursting out of them. And I have chills right now thinking of that these students were able to be a part of this.
I was really nervous, waiting for the light to start and dancing and all this stuff. And I was like, wow, this is a good opportunity that they gave to me to see who I am, who I can be.
As I was leaving the show, I was walking with one of our students, and the Hanover Theatre was empty except for a few ushers, and the cast had gone. And all of a sudden, from the back of the theater, she started singing one of the songs from the show. And she just didn't sing it quietly. She just belted out that song. and she looked at the stage, and she said, I have to tear up when I say this, but she says, I'll be back one day. Because that's the effect that this show had on our kids.
One of the kids after the show asked me, Mister, are those people just mouthing the words, or are they really singing? This is how kind of naive about these kind of performances the kids are.
This is my 38th year in education, and when you think about your career, you always look back at those moments, you know, that you'll always remember. And I would have to say that the participation in the Memphis Project and with Hanover Theatre is one of those moments that as an educator you'll always remember. Because think about how many opportunities you have where you can affect 1,300 kids at the same time, and adults, where it's been a positive experience from the beginning to the end, and it culminates in a project where somebody gets dressed up, goes to the theater, and feels like they're as good as anybody else, and that's what this was all about.